Hello. This video is dedicated to the memory of my daughter who died last week. She suffered a heart attack in a drugstore. Complications with drugs that were in her system. And today we're having a small memorial service. And the rest of this video will be video that's basically dedicated to her memory. And for those that were not able to come today to the small service we're going to have as a family and a few friends. Thank you, by the way, for sending the cards and sharing your thoughts and well wishes and prayers during this time. And for sharing in this memory and this dedication of my beautiful daughter, who I would love to hug one more time. One day will. Okay? My daughter died last Monday, and I want to make this video as a memorial for her and of her. So thank you, each one of you that have sent cards and SMSs and DMs and messages and just let me know you're thinking of me and the family as we go through this transition time. I want to talk about my daughter Mary Kay's life a little bit and some thoughts that I've been thinking about during these past days. So please bear with me. Maybe something in this video will be an encouragement to you if you're going through something similar, or when you do go through something similar. My daughter, Mary Kay, was able to do some really good things during her life and after her time here on this earth, including providing 3 people with organs. 2 people with a kidney each and 1 with her liver. Mary Kay was born in a small town in Canada, in the Midwest. She was a delight from her birth. Her name came from both of her grandparents, Mary and Kay, Mary Kay. She was my first child. She was a miracle baby from birth. Why? Her mother, my first wife, was a beautiful woman, a quiet, soft-spoken, and the very beginning of our marriage was good without medical problems or health issues. And then at some point fairly early on, we discovered that she had what would be different kinds of diagnosed mental illnesses. And the 10 plus years that she suffered with that, and I guess that affected me and the family and all the rest, because especially at that time, mental illness wasn't so readily known, and there was a stigma attached to it. It was all new to me, everything at that time, and I thought that was life. When you struggle, a man or a woman in a marriage or in a partnership struggle with depression, or these kind of illnesses, which my wife suffered at that time, there's not a lot of interest in intimacy, in closeness. And so that's the reason I say my daughter was truly a miracle birth. And in the early years, she had a yellow sleeper, one of these things that us Canadians wear, especially when we're young, that keeps us warm in the cold winters from head to toe. And she would crawl around my desk in my little office at home in the basement, and she'd play on my feet and play in the briefcase and play in the books and all the rest. Then over her life, she showed that she was extremely talented, a gifted singer and storyteller, and a very kind, sweet spirit. She had cousins that she grew up with that she loved, all around the same age, and at one time there were about 10 of them that often would play together, and very, very many happy moments. When she was quite young, I was given the opportunity to travel the world, and that changed my life. It changed our life. My mom and sisters, other kind people along the way, surrogate mothers, helped basically raise the children. I would be gone on what were IPO roadshows all over the world. I've made YouTubes before about this, where my life was simple and conservative and sheltered, and then it changed. We had during those years some very good times together, but we also had some painful times where I would be gone for extended time. Mary Kay got to travel with me some. She spent some time with me when I was living the better part of some time in Caracas, Venezuela, and she got to go to some special places in the United States and Hawaii and here in Canada, and so we had some really good moments and good times together. And during this heavy time, when we're faced with her death, I am counteracting the difficult moments with thinking about those happy moments, those memories, and why. Many times in the past I've said to myself and to others around me and to whoever was interested, do what you can to make good memories. They will last with you your lifetime, my lifetime, and so I can think back on those good moments.
And she sat down and she started just bawling.
About
So then I felt really bad.
10 years ago or so,
And then she was like,
she was living in New York City. At some point during that time, I was sent a message that she had gone missing. And of course, that set panic and the rest into motion. And within a reasonable amount of time, she was found. And I remember getting that message that a kind policeman had found her and was taking care of her situation there. I remember some time with her in New York City. That was fairly happy time for her and me. But it was around 10 years ago that my daughter, Mary Kay, got involved with drugs. She had met some people that didn't have a positive influence on her life, although I'm a believer in not being able to blame anyone else for the choices we make. None of us can. We do. If only she had done this, if only he had done that, if only they, if only that situation, if only the government, if only the media, if only Big Farm, if only. But we can't, in the end, blame anybody for the choices that we make that affect our life and affect the life of others.
Nice place to come and chill.
So, these people that came into her life, where she started to use drugs for, I think, initially recreation and, being cool and accepted and fitting in the situation she was in. And then at times, I think it was, as she would tell me, to numb pain she felt, difficulty that she was going through, suffering that she was feeling, confusion, so forth.
but I do it anyway. They need to know.
She came back to Canada around 4 years ago or so, and during these last years was in and out of programs to try to begin again, try to get on another path, try to go in another direction. There were what they call relapses. There were special care homes and trained professionals and family members and friends, all of whom did their best to try and make some kind of constructive, positive difference in Mary Kay's life, reminding her of who she was and what life had been like and how life could be again. Sometimes these are empty, hollow words because we don't understand what somebody who's dependent on substances is going through and what they're faced with. She had been on one of those streets here in Vancouver, right downtown over there, getting her drugs, and somehow had stumbled into a taxi and had been dropped off at the house and had collapsed. And this was maybe 2 years ago, and I thought that was the end. At times she said she didn't want to keep living, but then she would keep trying. The system here in BC did what they could and helped her in different kinds of ways, including for the last number of years helping her on what's called methadone, a type of, as I understand, lower dose drug that's intended to help people transition off of drugs. She had some gaps where we could talk, where we could walk together in a park, where we could ride bike a little bit together, where we could eat together, where we could reflect together. Sometimes I said the wrong things. Sometimes I think I did more harm than help. But I always wanted better for her. You'd have to be a pretty bad dad or mom not to want the best for your biological or those children that are placed in your care for any period of time. So my family now, my mom, sisters, brother, did an awful lot, as did a few others, to really make an effort to be there, to help get out of situations, to help get into better situations, to try to together do what we hoped would stick. And it didn't. And so about 2 weeks ago, we got a call. She had been in the drugstore getting her methadone dose and was also, we discovered, on other significant drugs. The ones you know about, I know about, we hear about, and had what they called a heart attack. And she was put for the better part of a week into the hospital on life. I have a picture. I'll share it with you. My brother took it for me. For all intents and purposes, during that week, she was not alive without the help of that life support. The main issue for them was she was registering with the test that they did brain signals, brain waves, and so we hoped for a miracle. We prayed for a miracle. We believed in the one true living God, that if he wanted to, he could heal her body, mind, soul, all. She had, when she was younger, she understood. She understood the faith, the Christian faith. She understood that there was one true living God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. She understood the message, the real message, the meaning of Christmas, Easter, and life. She had a grasp and had made a commitment, realized that none of us can save ourselves. Only the one true living God can. Only he can give us as full a life as is possible here. But he allows each of us our free choices. And we make choices in our life, don't we? Some good ones and some of the other kind. And my daughter made some really good choices and touched a lot of people with her kindness, her sweet spirit, and also made some choices that took her down a self-destructive kind of path. When she was in the hospital, it was kind of overwhelming, as you can imagine if you haven't been through it, and maybe you've been through it and you know just as well. The family spent some time visiting with her, hoping that she could hear. we had a little bit of time where we were told, barring a miracle, barring something supernatural happening, there would be a time they would need to withdraw the life support and she would completely finish this life. And as that time approached, then they said to us in a small meeting room there at the hospital, would there be interest in seeing if there was a possibility of her donating organs to somebody else? And absolutely, let's find the good, the help that Mary Kay can do now that she's on her way to heaven and a new body, and the end of her struggle, and the end of her pain, and the end of anyone real or imaginary that was out to get her, and anything else that she was going through that I did not understand and did not know how or what to say or do. So they tested her in those last days and discovered that she would be able to donate to somebody else both of her kidneys and her liver. Also, her heart and lungs tested well, but they could not place them in time to the profile of a person that would match enough. So Monday night, a week ago, she experienced the last of the brain waves, the end, and was declared dead. They took her with the life support, everything, into the operating room and took her 2 kidneys and her 1 liver and gave 3 people here in British Columbia a better quality of life. People that, you know, we would talk as a family, may have been praying, wishing for something good to happen, but not wanting bad to happen to somebody else. Life is like that, isn't it? Mixed bag. So there was pain in the night, and there will be more pain at different times. But life goes on here, and there is joy in the morning, knowing that 3 people, with the help of wonderful people at BC Transplant, could receive organs to give better quality of life for them. And furthermore, without getting into a lot of family details, there were...
Find too much, then go find less.
Yeah.
Or if you don't think that I'm good, then go see if you can find better. Go for it.
Go, yeah.
There were estranged relationships. That I think we all hoped would get better, but maybe we had given up. Her death was the catalyst, the trigger, the helpful point that opened doors for loved ones to come together, forgive, and be willing to move on. It was and is monumental miracle. My faith, not religious, but my faith and belief is in the one true living God, the one who is 3 persons, the one who is creator, made the earth in the beginning, made the first human beings. My faith says if we trust him, like my daughter did, then when we die, when we leave this planet, this earth, we go to heaven. We go to be with him and those who have gone on before that had similar faith. So I don't understand all this mystery, but I do believe in the one true living creator God and in the life hereafter. And so part of the joy mixed in with the pain of losing someone from here for me is knowing, believing, being convinced of the fact she is now somewhere in the perfect place where there's no evil, no harm, no war, no suffering, no disease, no drugs, in a body that is suitable for that existence, wherever that is, up or out or in another dimension, heaven. And I'm happy for her that she's there. It was her time. It wasn't the way anybody would want for another one to go or to have lived their last years. But it reminds all of us, or reminded me, once again, life is finite, beginning and end here, and then the rest of time after this. And this can happen for us when we plan on it, more often than not when we don't. It happens to the young and the middle-aged and the old. It's the thing all of us have in common. We were born, we're going to die. So, there's going to be, at the end of this video, a few pictures, I hope, of the memorial service, which will be held at a funeral home. Just hear a few words, to sing a song or two that were meaningful, to have a little bit of open sharing with a small group, a few family members, a few friends. And then we will continue on with life to the best of our ability. My choices, which you know about, to live, not just exist, maybe taking on a new meaning, a little bit more significance. My choice every day to laugh at the times when we need a break from the feelings of pain and frustration and anger and grief and all of those things that we're going through these days. My choosing to love and to understand a little bit differently that we're not placed on this earth to be loved by everybody, no matter how much we want that as human beings. We're here to love everybody, not to be loved by everybody, but to actually turn it around and do that in a human, fragmented, imperfect way. So maybe you've never heard it, whoever you are, that one person who came into the video. I just want to tell you I love you. And I love you so that you maybe will be encouraged to love somebody else around you that needs your love. And then every day we try to, in small ways and in big ways, look for and embrace truth. Hi, little guy. Hi. That's about it. If I have a few more thoughts that I think might help one person be encouraged or have something they can turn to, I'll add it before I upload this video next week after the memorial service. I really appreciate you, family, those that are new friends, those that are acquaintances, and through the beauty, the good side of technology, that person tuning in from somewhere in the world that maybe understands only in part, but it wasn't a mistake that you stopped by. I love my daughter.
I'm not.
See what you're doing.
I sometimes did better with her than at other times.
So you're playing.
When I think of her now, I think of her with Dad, my sister, her mom, others.
Hunger. The name is Hunger.
Yeah, you say
And where they are, it's good.
Sports.
Yeah.
What?